Hey guys, it's Rush. Hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the channel. In this video today, I want to help you understand some simple concepts in Street Fighter 6. So there's a lot of things that the game doesn't teach you, or they're hidden behind a tutorial mode, and you've got to go into tutorial mode and you've got to hit that particular topic to understand. This video, I'm going to quickly break down some concepts that beginners, intermediate players, and even very high level players may not even know about the game. So some very small things that will help you improve your understanding of Street Fighter 6 and the core mechanics. So the first thing I'm going to show you is parry recovery. So when you're in parry, this will defend against highs and lows. So overheads, mids and lows. This will block everything. But when you let go of parry, even though you can't see it, there is a recovery period there. And the recovery period can actually be punished. So we all know that when someone taps parry, holds parry, when they're in recovery after they release the parry, you can throw the opponent and you get a punish counter throw. However, there's another scenario. So the overhead, if the opponent has let go of parry and I hold down back, you can see I get punish counter overheaded. The reason that happens is because when you're in recovery of the parry, you then have to decide whether you block high or low. If I block low, so down back after holding parry, and they do a overhead or a jump attack, I'll be in a punishable recovery state. Same applies for when the opponent goes low. So if I hold parry, let go of parry, but just hold back during the recovery, you can see that I'm in punish counter status because the opponent's gone for a low attack, but during the parry recovery, I'm only holding backwards. I'm not blocking low. That leaves you in punish counter state, open to lows. So most people, when they've let go of parry in neutral, they will most likely do down back, and that will mean they're open to overheads, and that's really good for Ken. If you play Ken, because we have a fast overhead, we can get in quickly on them and don't do an overhead. That's actually a good approach. If you can't get in range to throw them, if they let go of parry, run overhead may be an option. So item 2 on the list is to show you what happens when a throw trades with a strike. So I'm going to use run overhead. That's +1 on block when the opponent's in burnout. So when I do this, the opponent is pressing a 4-frame jab. The dummy is doing a 4-frame jab. So my 4-frame jab will actually beat theirs. If I do a 5-frame button, which will cause a trade, you can see my 5-frame button trades with the 4-frame. That's because I'm 1 frame ahead, so our strikes are hitting at the same time. I actually have advantage there because of the medium. The medium has more hit stun than the light, but a 5-frame trades with the 4-frame. But if I do a throw, there is no trade. The throw actually loses to strikes, so there is priority there. Even though that should be a trade situation, in Street Fighter 5, the throw would beat the strike. But in Street Fighter 6, strikes actually beat throws on trades. So number 3 on my list is when the opponent blocks an attack and they become burned out. So you put them into burnout. So you can see the dummy's drive gauge is very low. I'm doing stand heavy punch. Stand heavy punch is -2 on block normally. So I'm going to burn them out now. And you'll see, as I put them in burnout, they're still +2. I am still -2. The strike that puts them in burnout does not give you the additional plus frames. If I do stand heavy punch again now, whilst we're in burnout, I am now +2. So I get those 4 frames of burnout advantage on block, only whilst they're in burnout. I've got confused by this, and I've seen other people do it as well, but they think that when you burn the opponent out with a strike, that first hit that deletes the drive bar, the remaining drive bar, causes plus frames. It doesn't. It's once they are actually in burnout. So you can use that knowledge to actually create strings. So it combines the fact that you're burning them out, but you cancel off the button that burns them out into a follow-up that actually leaves you plus. So there I did stand heavy punch into medium kick Jim right, and I went from the medium Jim right into the overhead. The overhead's +1. That's working because I put them in burnout and continued the string with cancels. Another random example, if I do stand heavy punch into OD fireball, you can see the OD fireball there because it connected whilst they were burned out. it's now +2. Number 4 on my list, this has been covered on the channel before. It's a good refresher for people. It's also very important for people if you don't know this. -3 in this game, so if I do run overhead, that's -3. That number in terms of frame data is very important, and that's because it leaves you at risk to perfect parry. So I am -3, so I'm -3, the dummy Ken is +3. It's pressing a 4-frame button. If I tap parry at the right timing behind this, I can get 3 perfect parry. My timing sucks. There we go. And the reason that works is because the way parry and perfect parry works is, if I press parry and the strike that comes out from the opponent occurs on frame 1 or frame 2 of my parry, I will get a perfect parry. And that's why people do it on -3. They do that deliberately to get the perfect parry when opponents are taking their turn back. -3 is not punishable, but a 4-frame jab makes sense to keep it tight, but you're at risk of being perfect parried. The same applies for a 5-frame. If I again time my parry correctly on the -3 situation, I can perfect parry the 5-frame. My timing sucks. So the way to avoid this is to do a 6-frame button after the -3 situation. So where the dummy Ken is +3, they're doing crouch medium punch. That will stop the chance of getting perfect parried by somebody who knows they're -3 and they're doing an immediate parry behind the -3. Don't get me wrong, if they delay their parry deliberately, they could perfect parry this, but most people won't be doing that. They will be doing it reversal timing. You'll never get perfect parried if somebody does -3 into immediate parry if you use the 6-frame button. So tip number 5 is to do with projectiles and perfect parrying projectiles. So this may sound really silly. It is silly. When I used to try and perfect parry projectiles, I would not hold down back or back. I would just press parry. So I would stand there like this and just raw parry projectile. But the issue with this is, if your timing's off, you're going to get hit by the projectile. So you can see here, my parries are coming out super early because I don't want to get hit by the projectile. I'm not blocking. And you can see none of these are getting perfect parried. Not any of them. If I try to do it at a later timing to get the perfect parry, I'm likely going to get hit. There is going to be a time where I get hit. Let's see. There's a perfect parry. Get closer. There we go. So I got hit there. So a simple fix for this, and this is probably common knowledge, and this is probably my fault for not doing it. All you've got to do is hold down back. Down back. Aim to block the projectile. But then when the projectile gets close to you, do it as close as possible. As soon as the projectile's right next to you, then tap parry from down back. You can see the transition from down back to the parry animation. When you do this, it's much easier to perfect parry the fireballs. And the reason for that is because if you do it too late, so I'm trying to do it as late as possible, tap parry. Let me deliberately tap parry later than I need to. And you'll see, look what happens. My parry is still inputted, but I'm in block animation because I'm down backing. This makes perfect parrying projectiles so much more easy and low risk. There's no risk now because I'll either get a perfect parry or I'll block. Super easy. Item number 6 on my list, it's short and sweet, so it's drive rush cancel. So with drive rush cancel, there's 2 ways to do a drive rush cancel. You either press 2 mediums off a attack, a normal, or you do forward forward. Now I don't like forward forward, and the reason I don't like forward forward is sometimes you can get accidental moves coming out after the drive rush. So this is an exaggerated example, but I've seen things like that happen by mistake. I'm not wanted super or DP. Because I've done forward forward, it's caused the input to come out. So the way to do this, the way to avoid it, is just to do 2 medium option. This is a much more reliable option. You can see I'm doing crouch medium kick into parry. No drive rush is coming out. It's because you have to go to neutral. When you use the 2-button method, you do your attacks, whether it's standing or crouching. You have to let go of the down input if you're crouching, and then tap your 2 mediums. You will then get the drive rush cancel. Bonus tip, this is also the same for Ken's run. You cannot do Ken's run while holding the crouch button. You have to let go of crouch to get the run. It must be done whilst standing, walking back, or walking forward. And walking back, press 3 kicks, he runs, walk forward, 3 kicks, he runs. On neutral, 3 kicks, he runs, but holding crouch, he will not run. And for the final tip, it's reacting rather than committing to a offensive option or a punishment option. So the 2 examples I'm going to give are where the opponent is doing a parry anti-air, or you think they're going to do parry anti-air, and also where the opponent's trying to tech on defense. So let's go for the knockdown scenario first. So I've got this dummy Ken set to do a delayed tech after knockdown. So I see a lot of people doing this, and myself. We will do walk back and we'll press the shimmy button, stand heavy punch, without even seeing them do anything. We're just kind of autopiloting the shimmy option. And that's really bad because you're not in control of the situation and you're not waiting to see what they're doing. You're not downloading any information about your opponent. You're putting yourself at risk actually as well. So let's do that again. Now I'm going to walk back and just wait. As you can see, the throw is whiffing. There's a lot of time to react to that throw whiffing. So let's do it again. There we go. That was a reaction. And I was in a defensive position then. I actually just down backed. Let's do it one more time. So not only was I down backing, I'm not able to get crouching mini kick drive rushed here. I'm going to block the wake up reversal. When I see the throw whiff, I have enough time to react to it. Crouch heavy punch for a big punish counter conversion. So with the parry situation, what I find a lot of players will do is if they commit to an option, and when they've committed to that option, you're airborne, their response, rather than doing an anti-air DP, they will actually tap parry. Now, I understand the logic behind this because parry becomes active in 1-2 frames. You'll get the perfect parry on frame 1 or frame 2 of the parry attempt against strikes. So it's a very fast option, and that's why it is a useful option as an anti-air option. But I don't like it as an anti-air option. I'd rather block unless I know they're going to do a strike in that situation. So what I propose is if I use this example, I'm going to neutral jump, they're going to do an immediate throw tech and a tapping parry behind it. What I'm encouraging you to do is to react again. So let's jump. You can see they've done an action. Let's do it again. I messed that up there. You see the whiff throw, wait, and then when you see the parry whiff, then decide what to do. So don't autopilot the neutral jump heavy punch like this, because it'll get parried and potentially perfect parried. Wait to see what they do. Because they've done an action whilst you're in the air, a lot of players in Street Fighter 6 tend to tap parry behind, once that option's whiffed, so once that throw's whiffed, they will tap parry because they want to parry your jump shimmy attempt. But you can use that to blow them up. Just wait. Land. And then when you see that parry whiff, you then throw the parry. You punish them for it. And this doesn't just apply to knockdown pressure. Even in the neutral, say if I jump over the dummy Ken and I go for a cross-up attack, but I can see my cross-up is going to whiff like that. That's bad because I'll be in punish counter state. If you can recognize that your jumping attack, whether it be the light kick or the medium kick, is going to whiff, because of the spacing, you should be reacting to the scenario and deciding not to do the cross-up attack because you know it's not going to connect. But not only that, as you jump over and do nothing because you won't connect, what is the opponent doing as you jump over? Just wait a little bit and see if they tap parry. And if they tap parry, then throw them. Because what I have a habit of doing is I will do this, and as I land, I will just go for throw because I expect them to parry. But that's bad because then if they press a button rather than parrying, they're going to hit me with their button before my throw comes out. So I actually get punished in that scenario. It's much better where you know your jump-ins are going to whiff to just not do anything in the air, avoid the punish counter state, and then react to what they do on the ground. If they parry, throw them. So that is it for the video, guys. Some really good tips that I myself need to implement into my game. The thing with this stuff is it's all about knowledge. With the knowledge of these scenarios now, you now know how to better optimize your inputs or your decision making in those scenarios. The whole point is to make the game easier, and these tips give you the knowledge to make those scenarios less daunting for you. So I hope that's helped. Any questions, any queries, always give me a shout. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.